So as I said in the last lecture, this is a microwave oven. Microwave is one of the important part of this electromagnetic spectrum, where these microwaves can be used for cooking foods with this device which is shown in the diagram, that is called as microwave oven. Now how this works, what is its working principle, what are its advantages, what are its disadvantages, what is the difference between conventional cooking and this cooking which is done by this microwave oven, what is the difference between these two, that is what we are going to discuss very briefly. So in that discussion I have drawn this diagram. There is large cabinet, inside that there is a cavity that is called as microwave oven cavity, and in this cavity there is a assembly where we can put a food in certain dish or dishes which are made up of either glass or metal plate and like that, and above that there is one device that is called as microwave generator, which is connected to this magnetron. Magnetron is an electrical assembly which converts electrical signal into microwave signals, microwaves of electromagnetic spectrum, and these microwaves are guided. So there is one guide and waveguide, etc. All these assemblies there which is not shown here. We are just interested in this type of microwaves of a particular frequency. These are generated here in this metal cavity as shown, and this metal cavity that can reflect these type of waves, these waves are not absorbed. These waves or microwaves are only absorbed by the food items which essentially contains a water. And as I showed here, in case of this water molecule and this frequency of this microwave radiations, the polarity of the microwave radiation changes from positive to negative. The water molecules are also a polar molecule. It has positive and negative charge centers, and therefore these molecules try to accommodate in the direction of that changing polarity of these microwaves, and thereby since this polarity changes as per the frequency, given frequency, the polarity of microwave changes, the direction of this particular molecules also goes on changing, and in that particular process of physical change of direction of these molecules, this is what alignment, just like dipole gets aligned with the electric field, here this dipole of hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen molecule, that is H2O molecule, that also gets aligned with this type of field which changes very frequently. Therefore this alignment also changes, and during that process there is certain emergence of the heat, or this microwave energy gets converted into heat energy, and thereby this food gets heated. जे तुम्हाला ते फूड गरम होताना दिसेल किंवा शिजताना दिसेल, याच्या उलट तिथे जी ग्लास प्लेट आहे किंवा इतर असेंब्ली आहे, मेटल आहे, ही कुठलेही ऑब्जेक्ट गरम होत नाही, बिकॉज these objects are not absorbing these microwaves. What is absorbing microwaves is the food, and in that food the water content, जितका water content जास्त असेल तितकं ते फूड लवकर शिजेल, जितका water content कमी असेल तितकं त्याला जास्त वेळ लागेल. So whatever food we prepare, this food contains at least some amount of water, and this molecular movement of the water molecules inside this food, that produces heat, and that cooks actually the food here. Now in case of conventional cooking, म्हणजे आपल्या पारंपरिक इतर पद्धतीने जसं आपण हीट देऊन एखादा ऑब्जेक्ट शिजवतो, त्या केसमध्ये this heat is taken by that vessel itself, and this heat is conducted from vessel to that particular food, and in that case we call there is a surface heating. म्हणजे त्या फूडचं सरफेस हीट होतं आणि मग हळूहळू सरफेस मधून आतमध्ये फूड शिजत जातं किंवा त्याचं कुकिंग होत जातं किंवा कुक होत जातो. So this is called as surface heating phenomenon in our conventional cooking. Whereas in microwave cooking, now there is no surface cooking, but there is a volume cooking. So entire volume of that particular food item absorb this microwave radiations. Water molecules inside that food item gets dislocated, and therefore it produces an heat energy, and that heat is being absorbed by the food and it gets cooked. So this cooking process of microwave oven is volumetric cooking, whereas in the other conventional, आपण जसं गॅसवर एखादा मटेरियल शिजवतो पाण्यामध्ये टाकून किंवा तसंही शिजवतो, तर त्या केसमध्ये vessel absorb this heat and heat is given then to the food item. So that is called as surface cooking. Whereas in this particular microwave, it is called as the volumetric cooking. Another difference here is that there is no loss of the content. म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये जे मटेरियल असेल, प्रोटीन्स असतील किंवा इतर जे काय असेल फूड मध्ये असेल, that is not lost here. जस्ट डिझल्ट म्हणजे तुमच्या बाकीच्या कन्व्हेन्शनल कुकिंगमध्ये जसं अन्न आपलं करपतं किंवा जळून जातं जास्त हिटिंग केलं तर दॅट टाइप ऑफ इफेक्ट इज नॉट ऑब्झर्व हिअर. सो ओव्हर हिटिंग इज ऑल्सो नॉट ए प्रॉब्लेम हिअर. Content of that particular material is also preserved very well, and this type of cooking takes a very small time as compared to conventional cooking. जसं मागाच्या लेक्चरमध्ये सांगितलं की आपल्याला चिकन किंवा मटन शिजवायला किमान गॅसवरती 15 मिनिटं 20 मिनिटं अर्धा तास लागू शकतो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन सिस्टम यू हॅव. Here only few minutes are sufficient for this type of cooking in case of this particular microwave oven cooking. So microwave oven cooking is one of the very prominent and popular way of cooking in large restaurants, resorts, hotels and like that. Usually at home we do not use this, but nowadays some people are using this type of microwave ovens too for their cooking help and like that. So this is what the difference between our conventional cooking and this microwave cooking. Now let's write few lines about this particular thing. That is the just a minute. I just give my board here. We go for this microwave cooking. Very late years. In our textbook, we have been given 3-4 pages notes. We won't write that, only 1 or 2 pages. Not even that. Less than that, we will try to write about this. Because since some of our students do not have books available with them, so for those students, it should not be a oral discussion only. That's why I have preferred to write something about this type of devices here. So let's go for the first, that is microwave oven. Now its working principle. So let's write it brief. First it's a working principle. So I'll write it here. So try to understand whether we are getting it or not. Sorry. Yes. Black pen. Working principle. Now we want to discuss the whatever drawn in the diagram. That itself makes you clear what are the components of this micro oven and so on. So we'll write here. Okay. The water molecule is a polar molecule. Molecule is a polar molecule. Means what? It looks like this. There is positive end and there is negative end. So this is polar. Otherwise, in case of this, it is this positive and negative charge center at the same point. So this is non-polar. So water molecule itself is a polar molecule. It looks like this. So polar molecule, or this is just like a dipole. Dipole. And we know behavior of dipole in the electric field as well as magnetic field. In case of electric field, this dipole tries to align with the direction of the electric field. And here we are providing microwave. This microwave changes its polarity millions of times in a fraction of a second. So that many times a water molecule, polar water molecule gets aligned and de-aligned. So it changes its positions frequently as much time of whatever frequency of that microwave, and in that process heat is generated. So conversion of microwave energy into heat energy is possible with the help of these water molecules as shown here. This is the basic principle. So right here, brief. When microwaves of right frequency, when microwaves at the right frequency, we'll write these numbers to right frequency, bombard food or incident on the food, bombard food, okay, then millions of time a second, in 1 second, millions of times, in a second, millions of times in a second. all these water molecules align, A-L-I-G-N, align and de-align, G-N, okay, de-align with the direction of electromagnetic field, with the direction of electromagnetic field. Okay, so this agitations on the molecular level, this agitation या अर्थाने मराठीत आपण त्याला हालचाल असं म्हणतो. या मॉलिक्यूलची जी प्रत्यक्ष फिजिकल हालचाल होते, दॅट this agitation on the molecular level creates friction that causes a friction which hits up the food items, so whatever food items kept in the cavity, that gets heated because of this type of agitated motion of these water molecules contained by the food, because of that microwaves which are being bombarded on this particular type of food items. Okay. Food. Okay. And then next is because microwaves do not interact with molecules of glass, porcelain, the dishes, porcelain dishes, glass dish, porcelain, plastic or paper, so these radiations do not interact with this. These radiations are not being absorbed, thereby these objects or these type of materials do not get heated. So there is no heating of these objects because there is no interaction between microwaves and the materials of the either glass or porcelain or plastic or paper or anything. Okay, therefore only food is heated. Thus only food is heated and no containers. Okay, try to understand. This is the basic difference between microwave cooking and your traditional cooking. म्हणजे आपल्या पारंपरिक कुकिंग मध्ये भांडे तापतात, बाजूच्या सगळ्या वस्तू तापतात आणि मग फूड तापतं. इथंही पुन्हा फूडचं आपण बघितलं की food gets surface heating effect is observed there. Whereas here this particular in microwave cooking no other material other than food gets heated. म्हणजे अन्न जे आहे जे आपल्याला शिजवायचं आहे ते सोडून बाकीचे कुठल्याही वस्तू गरम होत नाही, कारण त्या ठिकाणी मायक्रोवेव्ह रेडिएशन and the materials either paper or porcelain or glass or metal etc. plastic that doesn't get interacted with this type of radiations, therefore there is no heating observed in this case. म्हणून मायक्रोवेव्ह मध्ये तुम्ही हात घालून जरी एखादा डिश बाहेर काढली तरी चालते, म्हणजे त्या अन्नाचं टेम्परेचर बरंच असेल 70, 80, 90, 100 डिग्री सेल्सिअस, परंतु त्या ज्या कंटेनरमध्ये आपण ठेवलंय ते मात्र फारसं हीट होत नाही, because whatever heating is that is because of the conduction. Microwave doesn't heats up that object. Otherwise in our traditional cooking, आपल्या नेहमीच्या कुकिंग मध्ये ज्यावेळेस आपण कुठल्याही भांड्याला हीट देतो, भांडं प्रचंड गरम होतं आणि मग ते हीट आतल्या कंटेनर मधल्या त्या फूड आयटमला मिळते. इट इज नॉट हॅपनिंग हियर. सो दिस इज द बेसिक difference between the cooking which is carried out with the help of this type of microwave oven cooking and the traditional cooking and so on. Okay, now working, how it works, that was the working principle. Now what is working takes place in the following manner. A magnetron, this is shown in the diagram. A magnetron generates microwaves. Okay, we are not looking this mechanism, how magnetron generates microwave, that is not our part of study. आपल्याला त्याची गरज नाहीये. फक्त मॅग्नेट्रॉन मुळे मायक्रोवेव्ह जनरेट होतात, एवढं आपल्याला माहित असलं पाहिजे. जनरेट्स मायक्रोवेव्स ऑफ द फ्रिक्वेन्सी 2.45 gigahertz, or in megahertz we can write 2450 megahertz, very large frequency. 2.45 gigahertz or 2450 megahertz with wavelength of, with lambda, wavelength is equal to 12.24 centimeters. These numbers are fixed. This is the wavelength and this is the frequency with which magnetron generates this. This is my first point. Second point is working. Microwaves are directed. The microwaves are directed towards food item. Towards food item by an antenna, which is not shown in the side diagram. Antenna at the top of magnetron, at the top of magnetron. This is again a mechanical device. We will not worry about this. Magnetron into a waveguide. Into a waveguide. Okay, so similar type of device which directs the microwaves to travel in a particular direction. Otherwise, if it goes in the all directions, then a small part of microwave will be directed towards the food item and it will take more time. Not to happen that all the microwaves are, जसं आपण फोकस करतो, बल्ब फोकस करतो एका विशिष्ट डिरेक्शनला, तसंच microwaves are focused at food item with the help of this type of waveguide, which is also not shown in the diagram. Then third step, the waveguide channels microwave. The waveguide channels microwaves to a fan-like, just like fan-like device. The waveguide channels microwaves to a fan-like device called as stirrer. STIRRER. Okay, we use stirrer in chemistry. Chemistry में stirrer वापरता. Stirrer, which dispenses them inside the oven cavity. So that is what the function of this waveguide, which channels microwave to a fan-like device called as stirrer, which dispenses them into the oven. Okay. Then number 5, whatever microwaves that are dispersed, that means that are not focused, which are striking the walls of that particular oven, this also gets reflected. So we won't write all these things here. So next is that okay, I think this is not needed to write this 5th point. Only 3 points are sufficient. And then the microwaves heat up the food items. Okay, and a particular temperature of 70, 80, 90 degree. We can set this temperature, and this much temperature can be, okay, depending upon the food items. Boiling water, we don't need that much temperature. For heating cookies or biscuits, etc., we need different temperature. For heating some other like samosa or anything, we require another temperature. For cooking the meat or chicken, etc., it requires different temperature. So these instructions are already given to you, and depending upon that how much time that micro oven is to be kept on, what much temperature is set. All these things are to be predefined, and based upon that we can cook a food item using this microwave. Okay. Now we will go for difference. The difference between, important point here, difference between traditional cooking and microwave cooking. MW, microwave cooking. Okay, so here I can make a change here. This is traditional cooking. Traditional, we won't write the statement. Cooking. There is a surface heating. There is a surface heating. ओके, तुम्ही पाहिलं असेल कधी कधी कुकरमध्ये आपण बटाटे शिजायला टाकतो आणि जर व्यवस्थित शिजले नाही तर तुम्हाला फक्त त्याचा वरचा थर शिजलेला दिसतो आणि आतमध्ये मात्र बटाटा तसाच राहतो. दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज सरफेस हीटिंग. आउटर सरफेस गेट्स हीटेड, that provides heat to the inner material and that goes on inside in heating. Sometimes it happens that whenever this incomplete cooking is there, because of that म्हणजे पुरेशी हीट नसेल तर सरफेस कुकिंग फक्त होतं, सरफेस फक्त हीट होईल, आतला पार्ट हीट होत नाही. सो दॅट टाइप ऑफ फिनॉमिना इज कॉल्ड एज सरफेस कुकिंग. Whereas in microwave cooking there is a volumetric heating. So entire volume. Okay, so for example, this is a potato which gets heated only here because of this traditional food. Okay, and whereas in our microwave cooking, this potato, same potato, it gets heated throughout because all these microwaves can enter inside this entire food item. So all the material gets heated very easily. So this is the difference. This is called as surface cooking, surface heating, and this is the volumetric heating. That is the difference. We must understand. So that is what that makes a particular difference here. There is one more thing here, advantage. That is why we'll write in brief. That is why foods with higher water content, like fresh vegetables, then meat, etc., can be cooked more quickly. That means as much higher water content if it is contained by that particular food, it gets cooked very quickly, more quickly than other foods. This is one important thing here. These are the important points about this. The microwave energy is changed. into heat as soon as absorbed by food. This microwave energy gets changed into heat energy as soon as absorbed by the food. Okay, so therefore the food doesn't become contaminated. Does not become contaminative, or it doesn't become radioactive too. So safe for, okay, it is safe for eating. Okay, so even though it is irradiated by microwaves, no contamination, no radioactivity, etc. is observed in that food items. So these items are quite safe for eating purpose. Okay, same. That means same thing is observed in the traditional cooking too. But here, if some people say that, or may imagine that since these are like X-rays or other types of gamma radiations, etc., it is not that. So the food items which are cooked using this microwave oven are quite safe for eating, almost safe for eating. There is no contamination or no radioactive effect is observed anywhere here. This is another important point here. And third important point we must understand in this case is that microwave cooking does not reduce the nutritional value. Microwave cooking does not reduce the nutritional nutritional value of food. So all the nutrients remain exactly same. So what that is not happening in case of traditional cooking. In traditional cooking, there is a chance of breaking of all these nutritional materials like proteins and so on. So this type of damage of the food is not observed in case of this microwave cooking. So that's why microwave cooking is in foreign countries, microwave cooking is more preferred than the traditional cooking. But at our place, we do not use microwave cooking to that extent. We are quite familiar with this traditional way of cooking. In आपल्याकडं चुलीवरचं मटण आपण म्हणतो त्याला खूप व्हॅल्यू आहे, आपण किंमत देतो, कारण त्याची चव आपण वेगळी असते म्हणतो. आणि दुसऱ्या प्रकारे शिजवलेलं मायक्रोवेव्हमध्ये जर शिजवलं तर कदाचित त्याची चव थोडीशी वेगळी असू शकेल. पण फॉरेनमधल्या लोकांना हे काही माहीत नाही, चुलीवरती अन्न कसं शिजवायचं वगैरे कदाचित माहीत नसेल किंवा त्यांच्याकडे तेवढा प्रकार नाही. बट वी आर हॅव्हिंग इन आवर कंट्री, वी आर हॅव्हिंग दिस ट्रॅडिशनल फूड ॲज traditional way of cooking has more importance than this microwave cooking. But in these points we have looked whatever we have seen earlier. This microwave cooking is more effective. It requires less energy, it requires less time, and it is also non-polluting. So there is no pollution at all. This air pollution is not there, or this ash is not generated. So other effects are not there. So that's how this particular cooking, microwave cooking, is one of the very dominant part in the foreign culture, but not at our place. But we must understand how this particular cooking takes place and what are the important facts about this. So here we have seen this particular, let me repeat in brief what we have seen here. So this is what a device, microwave oven device, they show these are the different parts. This is the working principle, that water molecules gets flipped or their directions as this electric field direction changes millions times per second, and that causes induction of heat, or that produces heat, which heat is taken by these materials or food items or food materials and then gets cooked because of this particular principle. And this is what working principle we have seen, how working takes place, what are the different parts, what is the frequency, how there is a waveguide is used for focusing this microwave on the food items, etc. we have seen. Then other components of that microwave oven doesn't get heated even if there is a cooking process takes place. This is not the case in the conventional cooking. So that is the difference between these two. And important difference we have seen in traditional cooking, there is a surface heating effect is there in case of food items, whereas in microwave cooking there is a volumetric heating. So volumetric heating is more effective, more time consuming, more energy, less energy consuming. It is not no pollution effects are observed there. So in case of human hygiene, again that is found to be more effective. And these materials doesn't get the food items doesn't get burned. जसं आपण चुलीवरती एखादा मटेरियल तुम्ही दूध फार वेळ टाकायला ठेवलं तर काही वेळा ते जळून जाताना तुम्हाला दिसेल. सो दिस टाइप ऑफ इफेक्ट इज नॉट ऑब्झर्व्ड हियर, बिकॉज इन दिस मायक्रोवेव ओव्हन्स वी कॅन कंट्रोल टेम्परेचर, वी कॅन कंट्रोल इट्स टाइम, all these things are there, and therefore it is more food is more that means the quality of the food which is cooked under microwave oven is quite good as compared to our traditional cooking. So that is what first device we wanted to see in detail in the following case. Now let's move to the second, number 2, second application that is give a title RADAR, radar. Okay. So this is called as radio detection and ranging. It's a short form of this. Radio detection and ranging. GING, radio detection and ranging. Okay, so this is a short form of this. RADA. This RA is taken from there, D from the second word, A from this third letter, and R again from this fourth word. So RADAR. This is because of this radio detection and ranging. So this is the short form of this. Now these radars were quite popular at the time of World War, because at the time of World War, this radar could detect the enemy aeroplanes or other types of devices or enemy other things, and that's what this particular concept of radar came in existence actually in the Second World War. So that was the requirement of the Second World War, and people could find such type of device which detects the objects which are moving in the vicinity, their distance, what type of objects, etc. that can be detected, and that's what the system which uses microwave radiations, and these radiations are transmitted from transmitter towards that particular object which is at a distance, and some of the waves get reflected, the microwave waves get reflected from that object to the transmitter again, so this time it becomes a reflector. So we have to send one pulse, one electromagnetic pulse is sent. This sends just like a light. जसं तुम्ही भिंतीवरती आपण किंवा आरशावरती लाईट मारला थोड्या काळासाठी, this light gets reflected back from that particular mirror. Same thing happens here. That object reflects these type of microwave pulses or signals. These pulses are catched by the device again, and how much time is required for its transfer from that transmitter to object, and from object to again receiver. Calculating this type of time difference, one can calculate the distance of an object and what distance that particular object is, what is time, etc. So these things can be done, and that is the device which is called as the radar. Okay, so let's go for a principle of this. Now, as I said, this radar was quite familiar device at the time of Second World War. So actually, these type of devices were invented in the war. So war requirement has given rise to this given birth to the invention of this type of device which is called as radar. And nowadays radars are quite useful. You might have seen at the airport the motion or the detection of the aeroplanes. Entire control of the airplanes is possible with the help of this radar. So now radar technologies, radar engineering itself, it's a very big branch of physics nowadays. But initially, before 100 years, when in the First World War, these radars were invented by scientists, where electromagnetic waves or these microwaves are again quite nicely used. Okay, so let's write in brief the introduction of this. Radar is an electromagnetic system. Radar is an electromagnetic system. Radar is an electromagnetic system which is used for sensing, detecting and locating, sensing, detecting and locating the object present in the surrounding. The objects present in the ambience or surrounding. Objects which are in the surrounding or which are in the ambience. The system is operated by transmitting an electromagnetic wave. And detecting the reflected electromagnetic wave. Reflected electromagnetic wave. Okay, and we also know that radars were invented in the Second World War. invented during Second World War. That was the basic necessity to identify enemy aircrafts or anti-aircraft missiles or objects. So to detect that, and this type of radars were invented. And nowadays, radar technology is much very prominent technology nowadays. This was introduction. Now let us go for principle, and also we will go for the diagram too. So before that, we will draw a diagram, very simple diagram, and then I will write something about this principle. Now what is this diagram? There is one device which is called as, this is a transmitter. Don't go into electronics of that. And same is also a receiver. This is a receiver. Okay. And here there is one antenna. This antenna is here. This is an antenna like this, and this transmits the waves. So let's suppose this is an object here. So it is a plane. This is a plane which is having this type of moving from a particular object there. So this is a plane. Now this transmitter transmits an electromagnetic wave. So this is a wave transmitted here, and then some part of wave gets reflected. Same wave is repeated. So this is a transmission wave and this is a reflected wave. So this is actually pulse. It is a pulse. Transmitted pulse. And this is a reflected pulse. Okay. And here this device is further connected to the I think you might have seen this type of device earlier, which is called as oscilloscope. It is connected to oscilloscope, and here on the screen of oscilloscope we see certain diagram. So this is oscilloscope. In pictures or in TV we might have seen this type of device which has a particular diagram shown there. Okay. So we can have axis like this. So this is the diagram. This is called as oscilloscope. So one pulse of electromagnetic radiation is generated by transmitter. Then it is transmitted by this antenna. That particular pulse goes in any direction, but actually it goes to the that object, and that object gets gives it is a metal or something else that reflects this type of pulse. Actually, it is a microwave pulse. And this pulse is now detected by this receiver, and noting the time required for reaching that pulse there and coming back. So when the pulse is emitted and when the pulse is received, because here both of these pulses travel with velocity of light, that is c, this is velocity of light. So I can see how much distance it has traveled and how much distance it has traveled. So this c is known. If the time difference is known, one can find out at what distance this particular object is from that particular radar system. So from airport, a particular aeroplane is flying, and at what distance that aeroplane is there, then this particular type of detection or the ranging can be possible. So this is a very simple technique that is used in this case as a principle here. Okay, so write in brief. Now this is the working. So diagram is much easier as compared to other two. So try to understand. These are two pulses. One is transmitted pulse. There is a reflected pulse. The reflected pulse comes from that moving object or the object which is at a distance. Transmitted pulse is sent by that particular antenna, and same antenna receives this reflected pulse, noting down difference between their time transmitted pulse and reflected pulse. We can, because velocity is known, time is known, one can find out the distance very easily using the formula there. We are going to write this formula also later. Okay, let's write in brief. A short pulse of EM radiation, electromagnetic radiation, EM radiation is transmitted from A highly directional antenna. Highly directional antenna. I think you might have seen, तुम्ही पाहिला असेल कुठं एअरपोर्टवरती या प्रकारचे अँटेना असतात किंवा काही आर्मीच्या व्हेकलला सुद्धा या प्रकारचे अँटेना आपण बसवतात किंवा दिस इज वॉट ए वन पॉवरफुल अँटेना transmitted from highly directional antenna which reflects or which gives out the waves in the particular direction only, because if the electromagnetic waves are generated in all direction, then a very small part of that wave will reach toward that object and it will be difficult for ranging that particular object. Instead of that, if a focus, जसा बॅटरीचा फोकस आपण एका विशिष्ट वस्तूवरती टाकतो तसंच this particular focused electromagnetic waves or pulse, if it is generated and if it is bombarding or incident on a particular object and then gets reflected, then this particular type of device works very nicely. So short pulse of EM radiations is transmitted from a highly directional antenna where this transmitted radiation, when this transmitted radiation hits HITS, hits the object, distant object of course, hits the object, a part of radiation is reflected back. A part of radiation is reflected back. Reflected back. Part of radiation is reflected back. and echo म्हणजे प्रतिध्वनीसारखं echo pulse is recorded. Echo pulse is recorded by receiver. Echo pulse is recorded by the receiver. The time interval, time duration, time interval between transmitted and echo pulse, transmitted and echo pulse, ECHO. Time interval between transmitted and echo pulse provides the accurate measure of the target distance from a radar system. So thereby we can detect at what a distance that particular object is, if its time duration of the pulse transmitted and pulse received, if it is could be measured, then further electronic devices is there which directly gives you the nature of that particular object, that distance etc. directly can be calculated. So this is what a further part, but basic physical principle is that wave is transmitted, pulse is transmitted, that reaches to that object, get reflected, and this particular reflected wave is cached of the same frequency. So whatever frequency of the wave that is generated, same amount of frequency wave is accepted. So transmitted and accepted, that time difference, if it is measured accurately, one can find out the distance of that object very accurately and like that. Okay. So here this is what the basic arrangement shown in the diagram. This is what the working principle of all that. Now there is a lot of information given in your textbook. You can read it later on, but I don't find that is that important here in this case. Okay. Next, now in searching, we'll write the formula for this. In searching the surrounding surface target, surrounding surface for targets, surface for targets, sometimes antenna is given rotational motion. ओके, कधी पाहिलं तुम्ही एअरपोर्टवरती तुम्ही पाहिलं असेल तिथे एक विशिष्ट प्रकारचा अँटेना असतो अँड दॅट अँटेना कीप्स ऑन रोटेटिंग कंटिन्युअसली. तो प्रत्येक दिशेला फिरत असतो आणि प्रत्येक दिशेला एक वेगळ्या प्रकारचा सिग्नल म्हणजे सिग्नल ट्रान्समिट करत असतो. That signal reaches to that object. Otherwise, what will happen if a distance the antenna has a fixed distance, fixed direction? What will happen? The objects which are coming in the vicinity of that antenna, that direction only, that will be sensed or detected. The objects which are coming from the backward side, these objects may not be observed or detected, provided this antenna has a particular direction only. To have a 360 angle view on the direction, this antenna is sometimes kept in rotational motion. You might have seen that earlier in diagram. Okay. Now, what is the mathematical part here? The power PR, the power P suffix R, PR, returning to the radar receiving antenna, returning to the radar receiving antenna, radar receiving antenna is given by equation. Okay, don't worry, we are not needed to solve this equation. किंवा आपल्याला ही इक्वेशन डिराइव्ह करायचं नाही. दॅट इज पार्ट ऑफ इंजिनियर्स. इंजिनिअरिंगमध्ये तुम्हाला ही इक्वेशन शिकवतील की कसं असतं किंवा कसं करायचं. वी आर डिरेक्टली बॉरोइंग दिस इक्वेशन फ्रॉम दोज पीपल. सो दिस इज गिवन बाय PR is equal to power, that is power PR returning to the radar receiving antenna, and what is power emitted or transmitted, that is the relation between these two. This is given by PT. PT is the power transmitted multiplied by a very big formula. We will just write in brief. G1 sigma times capital E in of ER, okay, divide by in the bracket 4 pi times R square of the bracket, which is also given by further given by PT. I'll explain what this each term is. G1 into sigma into lambda square divided by 4 pi cube into R square, R is to 4. This is the formula for power received in case of this type of radar. Okay. This where you can write in short, all these terms are there, where sigma is this in this formula what we have written, where sigma is radar cross section. Radar cross section. This is an engineering part. It's not for physics part. Try to understand. Cross section in meter square. Lambda is wavelength of radar signal. Wavelength of radar signal. Then third is G1. G1 is here is G1 and G2. There is G2 also. G1 and G2. G1 is transmission antenna gain. Transmission antenna gain. Okay, I don't know how many of you know this word. In electronics, you might come across this particular point, gain. What do you mean by gain? Transmission antenna gain. Then G2 is receiver antenna gain. Receiver antenna gain. This is G1, G2. Then PT. Okay, this is PT is transmission power. Transmission power. Okay, this is given in watts. And PR is reception power. Reception power, that is also given in W. And this AER, okay, in the first formula what we have written, this AER is given as effective aperture area of receiver antenna. Effective aperture area of receiver antenna. And the last here is R is capital R is range of the radar. Range of the radar. Again, this is not an infinite range. Try to understand. Very limited range is there. 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers. So that depends upon how much powerful pulse you send. If pulse is enough powerful, it can reach 500 kilometers. Then range of that will be 500 kilometers. Because of the atmosphere, because of the air, cloud, etc. That pulse doesn't reaches almost that distance, and therefore there is always a range of the radar. To what area, to what distance that radar may be able to detect the objects or the objects which are in motion or that can range this particular object. So that every device has a certain range. So all these factors are needed to calculate what is the power received and getting the relation in terms of power transmitted. Power transmitted is 100 units, only 2 or 3 units power is received. So transmitted power and received power has a large difference, and relationship between these two is given by this. Okay? And the last statement we write here. Actually, the types, there are several types of the radars that we will see in tomorrow lecture, because that is again very interesting and important part of this discussion that we will go later on. Okay, now usually the range of radar is measured. The range of radar is measured in, I think you might have heard this word earlier, nautical mile. Nautical mile, CAL, sorry, this is not NAUTICL, nautical miles. Okay, and you might be knowing this conversion. 1 nautical mile is equal to 1.852 kilometers. Why this is unit? This is unit that is used by British. ज्यावेळेस हा रडार शोधला गेलं त्यावेळेस ब्रिटिश लोकांनी त्यांच्याकडे नॉटिकल युनिट हे वापरलं जातं, किंवा समुद्रामध्ये सुद्धा त्याची डिस्टन्स मोजण्यासाठी आपण नॉटिकल माइल हे वापरलं. किलोमीटर और मीटर्स आर जनरली नॉट यूज्ड. So that same tradition has been followed in the radar too. So range of the radar is usually expressed in nautical miles, not in kilometers and meters. If you want, you can convert that nautical mile into kilometers by multiplying it by 1.852 kilometers. That means if it is 1 nautical mile, it will be 1.852 kilometers. If it is 10 nautical miles, then it is 18.52 kilometers and so on. So this is quite used a thing here. Okay. In general, last thing here. In general, radars are operated. Radars are operated in the range of frequencies. In the range of frequencies. Okay, this again it's a fixed one. 220 megahertz to 35 gigahertz. Okay, see the range, see the unit used for that ranging the radar, etc. So 220 megahertz to 35 gigahertz. This much type of signals, having this much frequency, not almost all. Only so that depends upon the type of radar, functionality of radar, application of radar, who has prepared this. That means Chinese army may have different radar, Indian army may have different radar, another army may have different radar or another system. That means who is using that radar, depending upon that, he has to design that radar, design his own frequency. Otherwise, what will happen? If my radar is there, which is using there with a certain frequency, and same radar is prepared by the other enemy country, it may be possible to have a clash between these two. So that will cause a technical problem if two radars of the same frequency or same range has been observed there. So all these frequencies vary between 220 megahertz to 30 gigahertz. A large range is there, so you can prepare such type of radars and all these things. Okay, there are certain radar characteristics also, but we won't go for this radar characteristics. These are very simple. So you have to go for choice. For what purpose you have to prepare a radar? Either for detecting the clouds, that means for climatic data collection you are using radar. Then sometimes for military purpose you are supposed to use this radar. to identify this anti-military or the tanks or the aeroplane, that is anti-aeroplane missiles, etc. We have to use certain set radars. Radars are used on the aeroplane as well, aerodrome or airport only. So that as again has different types of applications. So depending upon different types of applications or utility of radar, we can have actually these applications we are going to discuss tomorrow's discussion. But there are certain characteristics. Choice of operating frequency. To what frequency, with what frequency our radar should operate, that is to be decided well in advance. Then and then we can go for its construction and its utilization for that particular purpose only. So for different purpose, different frequency radars are to be used. That is what a choice. Then second is the pulse duration. The pulse which are transmitting or the pulse which we are receiving, how much duration of that pulse should be, that is also to be very well predefined. Based upon that, you have to design your radar. So that is one another important parameter. Then pulse reception frequency. To what frequency that particular pulse will be received. So how much change in the frequency is expected. According to that, we have to design the radar or we have to prepare that particular radar. Then transmitted power output. As I said, so that directly depends on the range. If the transmitted power is much smaller, then the range of that radar will be very small. If the transmitted power is very high, then the radar range may be larger. So that also decides the type of radar and its structure and its component and all that. Okay? And the maximum range, that is also to be studied very well. And based upon that, is in an airport, wherever in airport, for example, Pune airport is there. The radar which is operating on the Pune airport, its range must be more than 100 kilometers. If it is only 10 kilometers and two aeroplanes are coming in two different directions simultaneously, then it will be very difficult for that operator to whom to give a first permission to land here. Okay, किंवा त्याच काळात एखादं विमान इथून बाहेर पडत असेल आणि दुसऱ्या 10 किलोमीटर आणखी एखादं विमान जर जवळ असेल, then there is a problem. There may be a chance of clash or there may be a chance of accident between of these two aeroplanes. So not to occur that, we have to keep almost, that is for correct. I have heard this. I am not confirmed about this, but it is to be understood that this range of the radar should be almost 100 kilometers. Aeroplane 100 kilometers away from this aeroplane, then we will get a sufficient time to manipulate their distances and all the things, and then proper operation is possible on the airport. Otherwise, if the range is very small, this radar will not be able to identify large number of objects simultaneously which are coming from all directions. So that's why the range of the radar is another important parameter of the characteristics. So based upon that, we can design, we can build, we can operate, we can manipulate, manufacture these type of radars, and they have large number of applications. Now, in tomorrow's discussion, we will go for next. There are different types, primary and secondary type of radars, and lot many applications like civilian uses are there. For civilian purpose we use radar. For military use we use radar. For scientific use we also require this. Wind scatterometer, or that is called as climatic applications. Then remote sensing and environment, for that also radars are used. Law enforcement is also another necessity of any of the modern society. So for that also radars can be used. Land use, forestry and agriculture, in that purpose also radars are used. Apart from there are certain other applications. So all these applications we will learn in detail one by one in tomorrow's lecture. So today we will stop here and we will take a break. Okay. Thank you for patience listening.